Good, thanks. Well, could we move on to an overall view then of Maori spirituality? If we're trying to sum up for someone what is the essence of Maori spirituality, we're probably talking to someone of another culture, of another race, of another language, and we want to explain in a few words where it all starts. Could you describe for us briefly something about the overall idea which we are talking about when we speak about Maori spirituality?
When I go through this process, we begin really with the human experience, where people express their experiences. Say, for example, my first lecture in Maori theology is on whanaungatanga, the relationship among people, the models of relationship, the terminology or terms used in the relationship. And that's where people are right now. And it's a question of taking their experience right now and extracting the concepts from those reflections. And of course, in the end, we begin to go back to atua, to the creation of the world, to the understanding of tapu and to mana. Then we look at the principles for behavior or the principles for exercising our mana, our authority, our spiritual power. The tika, pono and aroha, we look at roles and role players in Maori society, going back to the past and making them applicable today and showing the ways in which those roles can still be played and need to be played, and having a look at the other concepts like violation, hohorongo, which is the reconciliation, the noa, the state of powerlessness and weakness that affect people who suffer violation, and the te wā concept, in which we reflect on the stages of life, the journey and the ultimate goal as well.
Well, perhaps we could talk a little bit about the goals. For example, where is all this leading? If a person takes on Maori spirituality, or if a Maori reclaims his or her spirituality, where does it lead to, and what does it result in with regard to daily life, the relationships and relationships to God and to people and to the world around them? Where do you see it all leading?
Well, I suppose the two most important questions that they ask are, ko waia hau, who am I? And the second one would be, what constitutes my very being? And so the development of the spirituality would be in helping them understand who they are, and so they need to know, first of all, about themselves, and secondly, about their relationships with people, with the whenua, with creation, and with atua. And we propose, through the Maori theology course, that the goal is to possess tapu fully. And the next most important thing, of course, is to be able to play the roles or take initiatives that address, acknowledge, that enhance, and sadly, because it's also necessary through violation, to restore that tapu. We'll look at tapu a little later. And those are the most important aspects, the two most fundamental concepts are tapu and mana. And in the program, it is to have a look at the relationship of these concepts towards achieving the goal, and the goal as seen in each of those, so that there is a relationship among all the concepts. There is a relationship of those concepts and principles towards the goal, and that the goal must be a part of all those concepts. In other words, there's a very relationship attitude towards the goal, and there is a system also.
Yes, so it's not simply some beliefs and concepts, it's a motivation, if you like, to relate to others and to the world in a new way. Would that be true?
Yes. It's no use having beliefs unless they influence our lives and our actions. And the Maori spirituality sets out those concepts and those values and challenges the response towards the goal ultimately.
And what do you think would be the main result if Maori spirituality were taken up and lived it to its fullest, especially by Maori people? What would be one of the concrete realizations or successes that you might hope to see among the people?
Well, if tapu is the goal, then obviously it is through the development and study of Maori spirituality would be to see how people can enhance their very being, their very dignity, how they can put into place forms of discipline whereby they cease to violate themselves and others. That would be the first one. And surely that has to be a very admirable and necessary goal, to see the enhancement of people. After all, that's what Christ came to do, was to bring life and to bring it to the full. But secondly would be the empowering of people, because that's the second most important, that's mana. And we would see a people who were empowered to achieve their goals in life. And those goals will always be directed towards the enhancement of themselves and others, and the motivation to cease violation of themselves and others, and surely that way we'll build up a very dynamic and holy people, wholesome people.
Kia ora. Kia ora pa ka mutu mo nai nei.
Kia ora.